Some thoughts never raise their voice. They do not need to, because they are not visitors. They are shadows. They move with you, inside every decision, behind every hesitation, and yet they are quiet. They don't say, "I'm the reason you didn't try," or "I'm the echo behind your doubt." They just wait, in the corners, in the pauses between one breath and the next, in the moment you reach for something and pull your hand back. They wait because that's where they live, not in words, but in choices unmade. We think a single thought is harmless, too small to matter, too light to hold us down, but it isn't the size that shapes us. It's the repetition, the way it drips, slowly, into the same part of the mind until a groove is carved deep and quiet, like a footpath worn into the grass from walking the same way too many times. You didn't mean to believe it. You just passed it so often you stopped noticing you were following it. But tonight, you're noticing, not to blame yourself, not to stir guilt, but to return, to come back to the place before the thought arrived, to the softness you left behind. You may not remember who you were before you held this weight. It's okay. Memory is not always the truth. Sometimes it's just the story the thought wanted you to hear. But even now, beneath that story, you still exist. And you are not small, not fragile, not broken. You are wide and gentle and strong in ways that cannot be shouted. Like the ocean, calm on the surface, carrying currents deep below that shape the world without ever being seen. You are shaping too, even now, in this silence, in this stillness, not by force, not by will, but by choosing to stay, to lie down, to be quiet with yourself. That's how change begins, not with struggle, but with soft noticing, with breath, with rest. So breathe. Let this be the night you don't reach for anything. Let this be the night you don't push anything away. The thought is here. It has been for a long time. Let it sit beside you. Let it rest too. Maybe it's tired. Maybe it's not your enemy. Maybe it's just been waiting to be seen without resistance. You don't have to know why it came or what it wants. You only have to stop hiding from it. Let the walls fall. Let the light dim. Let the edges soften. This is not about solving. This is not about changing. This is about being with what is, and letting that be enough. There is a version of you that has never been afraid. You may not have met them, but they are real. They live beneath the thought, not untouched by it, but unchanged, because there is a part of you that can hold sadness without becoming it, a part that can feel fear without drowning in it. That part is here now. It speaks in stillness. It breathes when everything else goes quiet. It knows the way home, and it does not rush. So take your time. There is no hurry in healing. There is no deadline for peace. The world can wait. This is your night, and this is your breath, and this is your thought. Not to fight, but to understand, and maybe, just maybe, to forgive. Some thoughts wear disguises. They dress up as memories, as logic, as caution. They pretend to protect you, but they are only walls. Soft ones, warm ones, but walls all the same. You built them without knowing, brick by brick. Every time you believed something that dimmed your own light just a little, and now you stand inside that quiet house of thought. Windows closed, lights low, wondering why it feels hard to breathe. But tonight, you do not need to knock them down. You do not need to escape. You only need to open a single window, let in a little air, let one curtain sway, let the night touch your skin without asking anything in return. Sometimes one small breath is more than enough. You've been holding so much for so long, tight around the chest, tight behind the eyes, tight in the places where language never quite reaches. You carry it quietly, without asking for help, without even realizing it's there. But the body remembers. The body always knows. So if your hands tremble, if your shoulders ache, if your stomach sinks for no clear reason, trust that your body is speaking. It is not broken. It is not weak. It is just tired of carrying the thought alone. Let it speak now, not in words, but in softness, in slowness and stillness. Breathe again. Feel how even now, with everything unsolved, you are safe. No alarms, no expectations, only the quiet weight of being human and being here. There is something beautiful about resting without permission, about choosing calm when the world asks for noise, about placing one hand on your chest and simply staying. That thought, the one that lingers, it may come back tonight. It may drift in like a cloud across the dark. Don't chase it. Don't run. Just watch. Notice how it moves, how it changes shape, how even a heavy thought can pass when you don't hold it down. Not every thought is meant to become truth. Some are visitors, some are echoes, some are only shadows of someone else's story that stayed too long. You are allowed to question them, gently, kindly, not with fear, but with curiosity. Who told me this? And why? And is it still mine to carry? And if you feel no answer, that's okay. You do not need answers to fall asleep. You do not need clarity to rest. You only need breath and softness and time. And all of those things are here now. You're not late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Still, breathing, becoming. Each moment a little closer to peace. Each breath a little further from the thought that once held you in place. Let it go just a little. Not forever, not fully. Just enough to remember what lightness feels like walking in bare feet on warm earth, like standing under soft rain with nothing to prove, like floating. You don't have to explain your quiet. You don't have to justify your stillness. It is not laziness. It is not avoidance. It is wisdom. Even seeds sleep before they bloom. Even stars hide behind clouds. Even the sea rests between waves. So can you. You can rest. Not because everything is finished, but because you are allowed. Let the thought drift. Let the body sink. Let your name grow distant and your shape grow soft, and your breath become the only thing you remember how to do. That is enough. Tonight, that is more than enough. Some thoughts feel eternal, as if they've always been there. Not because they are true, but because we've never lived without them. They grow roots in silence. They bloom in repetition. And they whisper until we forget they were ever just words. But words can be rewritten, even the quiet ones, even the ones etched into the softest part of you. Tonight is not about rewriting, but about noticing that you can. That the thought you carry, the one that shaped your voice, your spine, your way of standing in the world, is not a law. It's just a shape, a habit, a rhythm you memorized without meaning to. And now, you are allowed to hum something different. You are allowed to imagine who you might be without it. Not in some distant future, not in another life, but here, now in this room, in this quiet. Try it. What would remain if that thought dissolved? What would rise from the soft ashes it left behind? Maybe silence, maybe relief, maybe a sadness so gentle it feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. You don't have to become someone new. You only have to remember you've always been more than this one idea. That is the gift of thought. It can shape, but it does not define. It can visit, but it does not own. It can weigh, but it cannot bury the part of you that keeps waking up anyway. So let that part breathe. Let that version of you stretch gently beneath the covers, not to escape, but to arrive. This is arrival, this breath, this night, this soft return to yourself. There's no need to explain, to justify, to categorize what you feel. Not everything has to fit. Some feelings are clouds, some memories are mist, some nights are meant to be formless. This is one of them. So you can rest without clarity. You can rest without closure. You can rest even if the thought returns again and again, like footsteps in the next room. Let it walk. Let it echo. It does not need your attention tonight. You are here, with your breath, with the gentle rhythm of your own becoming. You are not your thoughts. You are the space that holds them. And that space is vast. So let it widen. Let your chest rise without tension. Let your mind wander without direction. Let the world outside your body fade just a little more. You are safe, even now, especially now, because nothing is asking, nothing is rushing, nothing is judging, only quiet, only stillness, only the long, slow unfolding of rest. This is what peace sounds like. Not silence, but surrender. Not answers, but softness. Not knowing, but staying. You are staying, and that is more than enough. Let the breath deepen. Let the limbs release. Let yourself become so still that even the thought forgets why it came. Let it float away, or let it sleep beside you. There's no right way, only your way. And your way tonight is slow and kind and warm. You have earned this, not with work, not with perfection, but by being here exactly as you are. Sometimes a single thought isn't loud. It's patient. It doesn't demand attention. It waits. It lingers. It settles into the small places, the places where you hesitate, the pauses between actions, the moments just before you choose. It wraps itself around those spaces until your hesitation feels like instinct, like truth. But it isn't. It's just a habit with a quiet voice. You learned it once, and now it speaks every time the world goes quiet. But not all inner voices are your own. Some were borrowed. Some were planted. Some were formed from old fears that no longer match the life you're living now. So take this moment, here in the dark, to ask, where did this thought come from? When did it start speaking for me? You don't need answers. Just the question is enough. Because questions create space, and space is where healing begins. You can stretch now, not your body, but your mind. Stretch beyond the edges of that thought. See what else lives there, what else is possible beside it, beneath it, beyond it. You are more than what you've believed. You are more than the shape this thought carved into you. You are not the echo. You are the voice before it. You are not the cage. You are the air inside. So breathe. Let your body feel heavy. Let your mind feel light. Let your breath soften around the shape of that thought until it begins to dissolve without force. You don't need to let go. Just loosen. Just a little. Let the night hold the part of you that's been holding too much. Let the bed become a kind of ocean. Let the silence become a kind of music. Let this moment be enough. There's no destination tonight. No insight you need to reach. No peace you have to manufacture. You are not a machine that needs fixing. You are not a problem that needs solving. You are a moment that needs softening. So soften. Soften the way your brow furrows. Soften the way your stomach clenches. Soften the way your shoulders rise, as if the world still needs lifting. It doesn't. Not now. Not tonight. The world can turn on its own, and you can lie still. You're not selfish for resting. You're not weak for releasing. You're not failing by falling asleep before everything is done. Everything is never done. That's not your fault. That's not your burden. Let it go. Let it go like a leaf in slow water. Let it pass without chasing. Let it drift without guilt. Tonight is not for carrying. Tonight is for floating. And you are floating now, even if you don't feel it yet. You are drifting slowly out of the noise, out of the patterns, out of the thought that once felt permanent. It isn't. It never was. Everything passes, even thoughts, even the ones that feel like forever. You are learning to witness them without bowing to them. That's strength. The quiet kind, the kind no one sees, the kind that lets you survive without a fight. You don't need to resist anymore. You only need to remain still, breathing, gentle. Your worth is not measured by your clarity or your courage or your progress. It is measured by your being, and you are here. That is enough. Some thoughts don't want to be erased. They want to be heard. And the longer we push them down, the heavier they grow. Not out of spite, but out of waiting, out of silence, out of all the time we've spent pretending they weren't there. But not all thoughts are threats. Some are just signals, messages from the deep sent not to harm you, but to help you pause, to help you listen, to help you soften around a truth you've been afraid to feel. Not everything soft is fragile. Not everything loud is strong. Tonight, you don't have to be either. You can be quiet and solid, soft and safe. You can be still and unshaken. There is no story you need to finish, no line you need to trace. You are not writing a conclusion. You are resting between chapters, and in that pause, you are enough. That thought you carry, the one that hums, even when you're still, it may come again. But this time, you don't need to wrestle with it. You can let it pass through you like light through fog. You can let it stay without letting it steer. You are the one breathing. You are the one choosing. You are the one who gets to decide what stays and what fades. And even if you're not ready to let go, even if the thought still feels too big, you're allowed to rest anyway. Because rest is not a reward, it is a right. You do not need to feel whole to be held. You do not need to be healed to be worthy of sleep. Tonight, you can be incomplete and still be okay. You can be uncertain and still be safe. You can be human and still be loved. Close your eyes now, not to escape, but to return. Return to the place in you where no thought can enter, where no words are needed, where the breath moves like water and the silence holds you like air. That place is still there. It always has been. Even when the mind is crowded, even when the heart is tired, that stillness waits for you. And it doesn't judge, it doesn't ask, it only opens. And you can enter, slowly, gently, with every breath a little deeper. You don't need a map, you don't need a reason, just rest. Let the thought be a cloud, let your body be sky, let the night carry you without direction. There is no destination here, no goal, only the journey inward, and you are already on your way. Let go of time, let go of identity, let go of The idea that you must become something more before you deserve this peace. You already deserve it. You always did. You have always been enough, even with the thought, even with the doubt, even in the quiet, especially in the quiet. So breathe and stay and rest. And if the thought returns, let it rest too, because even thoughts grow tired. Even they need stillness, and you are the one who can offer it. Not by force, not by control, but by being, just breathing, just existing in this soft, dark, gentle now. Some thoughts pretend to be who you are. They slip in slowly, quietly, until one day they speak in your voice, and you believe them. They say, "You always ruin things. You're too much. You're not enough. This is who you are." But those are not truths. They are patterns, and you are not a pattern. You are the space between them. You are not the thought. You are the one who hears it, the one who pauses, the one who breathes. And every time you notice that difference, every time you feel the space between the thought and the self, you return to yourself, gently, quietly, powerfully. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to fight the thought. You don't need to convince it to leave. You only need to recognize that it is not you, that even if it's been there for years, even if it comes in the middle of the night, even if it brings fear or shame or sorrow, you are still here, still breathing, still soft, still real. And real things do not need to be perfect. They do not need to be clear. They only need to exist. And you exist even now, even when the thought returns and wraps itself around your ribs, soft and quiet and heavy. Even then, you remain. So let the thought pass. Let it linger if it must, but do not feed it. Do not fight it. Do not fear it. Just let it be. Let it float. Let it dissolve like a word whispered into the wind. Because the more you stay still, the more you stop chasing, the less power it has. You're not a thought. You are body, you are breath, you are being. Let yourself feel that. Feel your hands, your spine, the soft weight of your body on the bed. Feel the quiet beneath your ribs, the warmth around your heart, the silence behind your eyes. That's you. That's real. Not the thought, not the noise, not the echo. Just this, just now. And now is enough. Let the rhythm slow. Let your jaw unclench. Let the tension melt like snow in sunlight. You do not have to hold everything together. You can fall apart, softly, safely, like a puzzle undone not from loss, but from rest. You can loosen. You can stop performing strength. You can let the mask slide away and find that there was never anything wrong underneath. Only softness, only feeling, only the part of you that has always been true. You're not here to impress anyone, not even yourself. You're here to rest, and you are allowed to rest without proving anything. First, you're allowed to sleep, even if the thought isn't finished, even if the healing isn't done, even if the peace hasn't fully arrived. You're allowed to sleep anyway, because rest is not earned. It is given, given by the body, given by the earth, given by the part of you that remembers how to stop. You are stopping now, and the world will keep turning. You are lying still, and the stars will rise anyway. You are saying nothing, and yet the breath continues, the thought fades, and what remains is not noise, not clarity, not revelation, just peace, quiet, warm, undeniable. Let it hold you, let it rock you, let it remind you that you do not need to try so hard to be okay. You are already okay, even with the thought, even with the ache, even with the doubt, especially with the doubt, because to doubt and still rest is courage, to fear and still breathe is strength, to feel the thought and still stay here, that is enough, that is more than enough. There is a place inside you where the thought cannot reach. It doesn't know the way. It has never been invited. It only waits at the edges, whispering. But deep inside, beyond memory, beyond belief, beneath even your name, there is a quiet so whole it cannot be touched. And tonight, you are moving closer to it, not by force, not by map, just by resting, by staying still long enough for the noise to lose interest, for the weight to loosen its grip, for the thought to begin to dissolve without protest. There is no finish line here. There is no transformation to earn. You are not becoming someone else. You're returning to someone you've always been. The thought, it's not the enemy. It's just a signal that you are tired, that you were hurting, that you needed gentleness, but didn't know how to ask. And now, you're asking by doing the softest thing, nothing, by lying still, by breathing, by listening to the silence and not filling it. That's enough. That's everything. The body knows this language. The skin remembers it. The bones welcome it. So let them speak now. Let them hum their quiet song. Let your breath fall into rhythm with the stillness around you. The thought may still echo. That's okay. Let it echo like distant thunder that never arrives. Let it echo until it forgets itself. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to silence it. You only have to stop feeding it your fear. You are not afraid tonight. Not here. Not now. You are tired. And being tired is not failure. It is permission. You don't need to do more. You don't need to be more. What if the thought was wrong all along? What if you've always been gentle and good and worthy of peace? What if everything the thought told you was never yours to believe? It doesn't matter how long it stayed. It doesn't matter how many times it spoke. What matters is that right now you see it clearly, and you can choose to rest anyway. You can be kind to yourself, not because you finally earned it, but because you finally stopped asking whether you deserved it. You do, you do, you always did. Let that sink in, not as an idea, but as a feeling. A warm pulse beneath your ribs, a hush in your shoulders, a loosening in your breath. That's what letting go feels like. Not dramatic, not sudden, just quiet, just safe, just yours. Let the darkness hold you, not as a void, but as a cradle. Let the stillness wrap around you like a soft blanket woven from silence. This is what it means to be okay. Not to be free from thought, but to sit beside it without fear, to share the night with it and still sleep deeply, to carry it gently until it forgets how to shout. You are doing that now. You are healing without noise, without effort, without even trying. You are healing by sleeping, by breathing, by staying, and that truly is enough. You don't need to explain why the thought came. You don't owe it a story. You don't owe it a name. Some things arrive simply because you were quiet long enough for them to be heard. And that is not a flaw. It is a kind of honesty, the kind that lives beneath the noise, the kind that doesn't wear language, only feeling. That's what this thought is. Not logic, not truth, just feeling that stayed. And feelings don't need to be fixed. They need to be felt, gently, briefly, and then allowed to move on. You don't need to hold this one anymore. You have already listened. You have already honored it with your stillness, with your breath, with your presence. Now it is time to loosen, not to fight, not to forget, just to loosen. Let the thought be a bird, perched, quiet, waiting to fly. You don't have to push it away. You only have to open the window and then wait. Because sometimes peace doesn't come from action. It comes from patience. The kind of patience you're learning right now. The kind that holds space without fear. The kind that watches without needing to fix. Let this be your practice tonight. Not solving, not resisting, just witnessing, just being. Let your breath be enough. Let your presence be enough. Let this moment be complete without effort. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not late to your own healing. You are here. That is all that matters. This night is not about progress. It is not about resolution. It is about presence. The quiet kind. The soft kind. The kind that asks nothing of you but breath. So breathe. Deeper now. Slower. Let your body guide you without words. Let your shoulders sink. Let your hands fall open. Let your thoughts drift like mist through trees. There's nothing to catch, nothing to hold, only passing, only softness, only the quiet rhythm of being alive without doing. You have done enough, more than enough. You've carried the thought. You've made space for it. You've listened to its silence. Now you can rest, without permission, without reward, just because you're tired. And tiredness is reason enough. You are not a task. You're not a mission. You're not a lesson to be learned. You're a body, a breath, a being, and beings. They rest, they fall still, they stop searching. They return to the quiet without guilt. Let this be your return. Not to answers, not to certainty, but to softness. Let the thought shrink. Let the body grow quiet. Let the night continue without needing you to carry it. You are not responsible for holding everything. You are not the light. You are the one being warmed by it. You are not the solution. You are the one who is allowed to lay down and feel whole anyway. Let that be your truth tonight. Not the thought, not the noise, not the weight, but this breath, this rest, this quiet you. Some nights, the thought returns not to wound, but to be seen, not to trap, but to ask if it's safe to leave. Because thoughts stay when they don't feel heard, when they don't feel safe, when they believe they are the only thing keeping you from falling apart. But you are not falling, you are resting, and that is not the same. So if the thought is here tonight, let it be here. Let it sit quietly in the corner. Let it feel the softness of this space. Let it learn that it is no longer needed. You do not need a reminder of your pain. You do not need a protector against your own peace. You are safe now, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. The thought may still whisper. That's okay. It's only a shape in the dark now, and you are the light around it. Let it speak if it must, but speak back only with silence, with stillness, with breath. You have nothing to prove tonight, to anyone, not even to your own thoughts. The world is not watching. You can put everything down, not because it's resolved, but because you're allowed. That's a truth the thought never understood. That rest is not a reward. It is your right. And this stillness you are practicing now, this slowness, the soft breathing in the dark, this is the sound of you becoming whole without needing anything more. You're not missing pieces. You're not waiting to be complete. You're not unfinished. You are here, breathing, still, enough. Let that truth live deeper than the thought. Let it wrap itself around you like a warm current beneath a quiet sea. Let it steady you. You've been steady all along. You just forgot because the thought was louder. But loud doesn't mean true. Sharp doesn't mean real. Familiar doesn't mean right. Let go of the noise. Let go of the old rules. You don't have to hold on to anything tonight. Not the roles you've played, not the masks you've worn, not the expectations you never chose. Let it all fall like leaves at the end of a season. Let yourself be bare. Let yourself be slow. Let yourself be only this, a presence, a breath, a quiet being wrapped in warmth and stillness and the soft hush of the night. You are not alone here. The thought may feel like a visitor, but even visitors leave when they are no longer needed. And you are the one who gets to choose when to close the door. Maybe not forever, maybe not tonight, but soon, slowly, gently, in the way only someone who has known the true weight of a single thought can. So rest. Let that door stay ajar. Let the night stay calm. Let yourself feel what it's like to be the one who doesn't need to chase or change or fix. Only breathe. Only stay. Only be. It's strange how long a single thought can stay. Long after the moment passed. Long after the words were spoken. Long after the world moved on. It lingers. Not because it belongs here, but because it found a place to rest inside you. And you, kind and open as you are, let it in. Not as a guest, but as a truth. You didn't mean to. It didn't ask permission. It just stayed. And for a while, you shaped yourself around it. You learned how to walk without touching it, how to speak without stirring it, how to live with that one quiet presence, always humming beneath your breath. But tonight, something has changed. You're not angry. You're not afraid. You're simply done building around something that never asked to stay. You're ready to be soft without permission, to breathe without measuring, to rest without first being perfect. The thought may still be there. You can feel it, but it doesn't fill the room anymore. You've grown too wide for that, too still, too aware. Now, it's just one sound in a world of silence, just one ripple on a quiet surface. And you are the lake, not the ripple. Let that truth settle. Let it move through you without needing to be repeated. Let it echo until the echo becomes music, and then let it fade. You don't have to carry this anymore. You never did. But you were kind, so you tried. You tried to understand, to contain, to protect, even your pain. You tried to take care of. But tonight, you get to take care of you. Not the version shaped by the thought, not the one who adapted, but the you that exists in stillness, the you that knows how to be without holding anything. That version is here now, breathing slowly, reclaiming space. Let your body feel that space. Feel the stretch in your ribs, the weight in your limbs, the stillness in your mouth. No more bracing, no more explaining, no more apologizing for needing rest. You are not a storm. You are the air after the storm has passed. And the thought, it can stay if it must. But it doesn't steer, it doesn't define, it doesn't shape you anymore, because you've stopped shrinking around it. You've stopped listening like it's true. You've started listening to something else. Your breath, your quiet, your peace. And that sound is stronger than any echo. Let that sound grow louder, not with force, but with stillness. Let it bloom in the quiet, Let it fill the space where the thought once lived. You don't need to chase anything. You don't need to become anything. You are already what peace feels like when it stops pretending to be something else. Let go of the words now. Let go of the waiting. Let go of the sense that something is unfinished. This moment is whole because you are here, breathing, existing, without resistance, and that truly is enough. Not everything we carry was meant to be held forever. Some thoughts arrived in moments of confusion, or fear, or loneliness, and stayed only because we never told them they could leave. You were younger then, or softer, or simply trying to survive, and that thought offered something that felt like safety, even if it whispered of doubt, even if it tightened your chest, even if it made you small. It felt familiar, and sometimes you mistake familiarity for comfort, but you're not in that moment anymore. You're not that version of yourself. You've changed quietly, slowly, but undeniably. You can feel it in the way you breathe now, in the way your body responds to stillness, in the way you no longer need the thought to understand yourself, because you've outgrown it, and it's okay to outgrow something that once felt like home. Let the truth settle into you. Let it move gently, like light across a floor in early morning. There's no need to rush, no need to confront. Just rest, just observe. You are allowed to watch the thought go without chasing after it. You are allowed to remain here, now breathing, present. The thought may drift in again, but you don't have to build your world around it anymore. You can let it pass like a cloud in a wide sky, not erased, not denied, just passing. You are the sky, and it is only weather. Let that bring you peace, not because the thought disappears, but because it no longer decides who you are. You are not a conclusion. You are a process, a rhythm, a soft unfolding. You're not the thought. You're the one who noticed it. And now, you're the one who knows it is time to rest. Not because everything makes sense, but because it doesn't have to. This is not a puzzle. This is not a task. This is just a moment, a breath, a kindness you give to yourself by doing nothing at all. Let that be enough. Let this be enough. You have nothing to prove. Not here, not tonight. The thought may tell you otherwise, but you've heard that voice before. And this time, you don't have to listen. You can let it pass. You can let it soften. You can let it sleep. And you can sleep too. The bed holds your body. The breath holds your presence. The night holds your healing. You don't need to hold anything else. Let it fall. Let it fade. Let it go. Not with force, but with kindness. Let your body become heavy. Let your chest rise without urgency. Let your jaw unclench. Let your eyes close, not to shut the world out, but to let yourself in. You are already whole, even in the dark, even in the quiet, especially in the quiet. Let that truth rock you. Let it wrap around you like warmth without heat, like music without sound, like sleep without resistance. You are safe now, not because the thought is gone, but because you are no longer lost in it. You have come home, to stillness, to breath, to yourself, and that is more than enough. There's a silence that doesn't feel empty. It doesn't echo. It doesn't wait. It simply is. And when you enter it, you don't vanish. You arrive. That silence is here now, software patient, not asking you to speak, not asking you to explain, just offering itself as a place to rest. You've lived through many kinds of silence, the kind that felt lonely, the kind that pressed too hard, the kind that hid things. this silence is different. It isn't hiding anything. It isn't covering something up. It isn't the pause before something goes wrong. It's the silence that comes when nothing needs to be said, when the moment is already whole. And inside this kind of silence, the thought cannot grow, because it feeds on noise, on hurry, on fear, on movement. But here, there is no movement, only breath, only presence. And the thought, it drifts now, not far but far enough that it no longer defines you. You are more than it. You always were. You are the breath beneath the surface, the softness under the armor, the stillness that never left. Even in your loudest moments, you've carried this quiet with you, a core untouched by the weight of any thought. And tonight, you are returning to it, not because the thought is gone, but because you remembered you don't have to listen to it forever. You can hear it and still rest. You can feel it and still sleep. Let that comfort you now. Let that truth settle into your bones. There is nothing wrong with you, nothing broken, nothing missing. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are simply resting after carrying too much for too long. Let that rest be deep. Let it reach the places that thinking can't touch. The muscles behind your eyes, the quiet behind your heartbeat, the space behind your breath. Let it all soften now. Let the stillness move in, not to fix you, not to change you, just to hold you. You are allowed to be held, even if no one else is here, even if it's just the dark, even if it's just your own breath pressing gently against the night. That's enough. You've done enough. You've carried the thought. You've honored it. You've made room for it. And now, you're allowed to rest, not because the thought is resolved, but because it never needed to be. It was never a problem. It was never a punishment. It was only a part of you that wanted to be heard. And you listened. You stayed. You breathed. Now you can release. Let the body sink into stillness. Let the thoughts soften into vapor. Let the air in the room grow just a little warmer, as if it too is ready to stop holding shape. You don't need to know how to let go. You only need to stop holding. Even that can be quiet. Even that can happen while you sleep. So sleep. Sleep not to escape, but to return to the you that exists beneath the thought, the you that knows how to rest, the you that does not ask for answers, only peace. You are allowed that peace. You are allowed to enter sleep without fear, without guilt, without needing to earn it. Let that be your last thought tonight, not the heavy one, not the loud one, but this: I am here, I am enough, and I am allowed to rest now. You don't have to defeat the thought to feel peace. That's the lie it tells you, that it has to be solved, undone, overcome before you can rest. But peace doesn't wait for completion. It waits for permission, and only you can give it. So give it now, not later, not when you feel ready, but now, in the middle of the doubt, in the presence of the thought. Let peace enter anyway, not to erase the thought, but to stand beside it, to say, I see you, you are not me, and I am allowed to rest, because you are. Rest is not the end of a journey, it's part of it, a rhythm, a return, a moment that asks nothing but stillness. You have always been worthy of that moment, even when the thought was loud, even when the noise in your mind sounded like truth. Even now, you are still worthy. Let that truth fall into you like rain into soil, slow, silent, changing everything without needing to be seen. You don't have to understand it. You only have to feel it. Here, in the breath you just took, in the quiet behind your eyes, in the way your hands have stopped clenching without you realizing. You're softening, you're loosening, you're returning, and the thought, it may still circle, but it no longer holds the center. You do. You always did. The thought was never a core, only a shadow, and shadows don't stay when the light is steady. You're that light now, not a glare, not a blaze, just a glow, constant, quiet, enough. Let yourself feel how wide you are, wider than this thought, wider than this moment, wider than the worry that still wants your attention. You don't have to listen to it tonight. You don't have to follow. Let it pass, like weather, like mist, like something that was never meant to be permanent, because it wasn't. Nothing is. But peace is the closest thing we have to permanence, because peace doesn't ask for conditions. It just waits until you're ready to notice it, and you're ready now. Let your breath deepen. Let your back melt into the bed. Let your chest rise without urgency. Let the thought become just another shape in the quiet. It doesn't need to be louder than your peace. Not anymore. Not here. This room is yours. This stillness is yours. This silence is yours. Nothing in you is broken. Nothing in you is behind. Nothing in you needs to hurry. You are already exactly where you're meant to be, in a room that asks for nothing, on a night that gives without demand, and in a breath that tells you, gently, you don't need to fix this. You only need to rest. You've been living beside this thought for so long that it became part of your map. Not a destination, but a landmark. Something always there on the edge of your awareness. It shaped how you walked, how you looked ahead, how you prepared for what might go wrong. Not because you wanted it, but because it was familiar. And sometimes familiar feels safe, even when it isn't kind. But you're not walking that same path tonight. Not now. Now you are lying still. You are not moving. You are not chasing. You're not bracing for anything. And that changes everything. Because stillness, not the absence of movement, it's the presence of acceptance. And that's what you're doing now. Accepting that the thought may be here, but it doesn't steer. It doesn't decide. It doesn't define you. You are not the sum of your worries. You are not the echo of your fear. You are the one breathing beneath it all. And breath is older than worry, softer than fear, wiser than thought. Let your breath carry you now, slowly, like a boat in quiet water. Let each inhale bring you deeper into yourself. Let each exhale let something go that you don't need anymore. The thought may return. Let it pass through like wind across curtains. Let it touch nothing. Let it move without meaning. You are the room now, not the wind, not the curtain, the space, and the space is always still. Let that stillness feel real again. Let it settle in your body like warmth into stone, like quiet into memory, like night into everything. You do not need to fix what you feel. You only need to feel it without apology. You're not fragile because you carry this thought. You're not failing because you feel it tonight. You're human, and this is part of being human, to carry things, and then, in the right moment, to put them down. Maybe not forever, maybe not all at once, but a little, just enough to remember what your own weight feels like without it. That's what rest is. Not escape, not erasure, just a gentle release of what you were never meant to hold alone. and you're releasing it now. With every breath, with every moment, you choose not to answer the thought back, not to chase it, not to give it more than it already took, because tonight belongs to you, not to the thought, not to the story, to you, to the one who stayed, to the one who softened, to the one who finally said, I am enough, and I can rest now. You don't need a new thought. You don't need to replace it. You only need this breath, this stillness, this moment where everything is exactly as it is, and nothing is asked of you. That's peace, not perfection, not certainty, just being. Let yourself be. Let your jaw soften. Let your fingers relax. Let your chest rise without tension. Let the thoughts stay quiet in the corner if it must. Let it become dust. Let it become stillness. Let yourself become the space where nothing needs to happen and everything is already okay. You're safe now. And safety doesn't mean the absence of thought. It means the presence of something larger. And that something is you. The thought is still here. But now, it's quiet. Like someone sitting at the edge of a long conversation with nothing left to say. You don't hate it. You don't fear it. You just don't belong to it anymore. That's how change feels sometimes. Not like fire, but like silence. Not like breaking, but like space. The kind of space that doesn't need to be filled. The kind of space that says, this is enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. Even on the days when the thought was louder than your breath. Even when it wrapped around your choices and whispered itself into your voice. Even then. But now, you are resting. Not because you defeated anything, but because you remembered you didn't have to. The thought isn't gone. It's simply no longer the center. It's a background noise you don't turn toward anymore. Like a clock ticking in another room, present, but no longer urgent. Let it tick. Let it count time you no longer measure yourself against. You are not late. You're not wrong. You're not behind. You're simply here. And here is always enough. Feel that. Feel how still the room is now. How your breath finds its rhythm without effort. How your body holds no tension because it no longer needs armor. You don't need to defend against your own mind. Your mind is not your enemy. It is just a place where thoughts come and go, where stories try to form, where noise sometimes gets mistaken for truth. But you are not the noise. You are the listener, and you are allowed to stop listening. You are allowed to say, that's enough for now, not forever, not angrily, just gently, as you would to a child who has said the same sentence 100 times because they needed to be heard. You've heard it. You stayed. You gave it space. Now you can rest. Let the room grow darker. Let the air grow warmer. Let the bed carry you without question. You are safe here. Not because thought has disappeared, but because it has no power over you now. You are the sky that holds the thought without collapsing. You are the stillness that outlasts the echo. You are the being that chooses softness again and again. And tonight you've chosen well. You've chosen stillness over certainty, peace over control, sleep over solving. Let sleep come now, not to erase but to renew, not to escape but to return. Return to the version of you that was never shaped by this thought. The one who lives deeper, quieter, wiser. The one who knew, even when the thought was loud, that a peace was always waiting on the other side of surrender. You're there now. Let go. Let yourself drift. Let yourself dissolve into the quiet. there is nothing left to carry, nothing left to understand, only breath, only warmth, only the long, slow rhythm of someone who remembers that they are allowed to sleep. Sometimes the thought is still there in the morning. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you didn't rest deeply. It doesn't mean peace didn't find you. Some thoughts aren't meant to vanish. They are meant to lose their shape, to soften at the edges, to become background, to become ordinary. Not a presence, but a pattern you no longer follow. And you are free to notice it without becoming it. That is the freedom you've been practicing all night. Not escape, but expansion. To grow so spacious that even a heavy thought feels light within you. You don't need to chase clarity anymore. You don't need to wait for the thought to end before you can begin. You are already living, already breathing, already whole, even with it, especially with it. Because to coexist without collapsing is power, and you're powerful in the quietest way, the way that doesn't shout, the way that doesn't resist, the way that simply says, I am still here, and I will not fold, not because of willpower, but because of softness, because you've learned that letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom, and now that wisdom lives in you, in your breath, in your bones, in the way your body settles without being asked to prove anything. Let yourself feel that now. Feel how still you are, how deep this quiet runs, how much of the thought no longer feels like yours. You've grown around it, and in that growth, you've left it behind, not entirely, not permanently, but enough to sleep, enough to breathe, enough to choose peace again, even if the thought returns tomorrow. Because now you know, you don't need to fight it. You only need to rest beside it until it no longer matters. And that resting, that is what you're doing now, fully, calmly, without permission, without performance. This is rest without resistance. Let it deepen. Let the breath become quieter. Let the body dissolve into the bed, into the dark, into the safety that was always waiting here. You don't have to earn this. You never did. This moment is not a prize. It is your right. You are allowed to sleep even when things are incomplete, even when the thought is still there, even when nothing feels resolved. Sleep does not wait for resolution. It waits for surrender. And you are surrendering now to stillness, to softness, to the part of you that never believed the thought was all there was. That part of you is holding the rest. Let it hold you. Let it carry you into sleep, into the space where no story is needed, where the thought becomes a shadow on the back wall of your mind, still there, but never again mistaken for who you are. You're not the thought. You're the one who made room for it and then decided to rest anyway. And that, quietly, is everything. Not every thought is a question. Not every feeling requires an answer. Sometimes a thought's just there, like a stone on a path. You don't need to move. You can see it, step around it, let it be part of the scenery without it becoming part of you. That's what you're learning now. That presence does not require resolution. That rest does not depend on clarity. That peace can exist right beside confusion and still feel real. You've come far, not because you've solved anything, but because you stopped needing to. You've stopped making the thought the center of the room. Now it's just an object in the corner, quiet, small, and not in your way. You don't have to banish it. You don't have to explain it. You don't even have to name it anymore. You've given it enough, more than enough, and tonight you keep the rest for yourself, for your breath, for your quiet, for your softness. Let the room feel wider now. Let the silence settle deeper. Let your thoughts lose their form and melt into background, not erased, but irrelevant. You are not the mind trying to control the storm. You are the sky that holds it without effort. Let that image hold you now. Let it guide your body into sleep. You don't have to carry anything. Not the worry, not the meaning, not even the breath. Just let it come and go. The world will keep spinning. The stories will keep unfolding. But you are allowed to pause. Not forever. Just now. Just long enough to remember what it feels like to be free from the weight of what ifs. This is your moment. And you don't owe it to anyone but yourself. So claim it. Not loudly, not with effort, just with stillness, just with the quiet sound of your body settling. The weight has shifted. You are no longer under it. You are beside it. You are breathing above it. And you are safe. Let yourself trust that safety now. Let it sink in as if it always belonged, because it did. The thought may speak again someday, but now you'll know how to stay silent beside it, how to breathe anyway, how to sleep anyway. That's power, the soft kind, the kind that doesn't shout, the kind that lets you close your eyes without needing to win. Tonight, you are not winning, you are not losing, you're just being, and that, quietly, beautifully, is everything. You're not waiting anymore, not for answers, not for change, not for the thought to vanish. Something deeper has arrived, not resolution but rest, that quiet knowing that nothing else needs to happen for this moment to be complete. The thought may still be there, it may rise, it may whisper, but it doesn't pull on you like it once did. It doesn't carry weight anymore. It just exists, like dust in sunlight, visible but untouched. That's what healing looks like sometimes. Not a burst of light, not a great moment of clarity, just the gentle absence of pressure. Let yourself notice that now, how you are breathing without holding anything, how you are lying here without needing to explain, how your stillness is no longer a pause before action, but the action itself. You are doing something by doing nothing. You are caring for yourself by releasing control. Let the thought pass through you now, not as something to analyze, not as something to fear, just as something old, familiar, but no longer necessary, like a memory you don't need to visit anymore, like a room you no longer live in. You're still allowed to open the door, but you don't have to stay there. You can return to this breath, this moment, this softness that is always yours. Feel it now, your face relaxing, your hands open, your shoulders sinking as if they too have remembered that you are no longer carrying anything. You're not a collection of thoughts. You are not a reflection of tension. You are a presence, a rhythm, a quiet unfolding. You are the space between thought and response, and in that space, you are free. Let the night hold you now. Let the weight of your body reconnect you to the earth, to the bed, to yourself. Let the air around you carry your stillness like something sacred. Let your breath be the only sound that matters, because tonight, that's all you need. Breath, stillness, and the knowing that nothing more is required. Let that truth settle like mist, software everywhere, touching everything without effort. You are not falling behind. You are not missing something. You are not stuck. You are here, and here is where the thought no longer has power, because the thought belongs to before, and you are after the struggle, after the story, after the need to understand everything. Now there is only presence and sleep and the deep, gentle trust that you are safe, even if the thought remains. Because it can stay, and you can rest anyway. It can exist, and you can be soft anyway. It can speak, and you can stop listening, not out of defiance, but out of wisdom. Because now you know the truth. You are more permanent than any thought, more real than any echo, more whole than any story you once believed. And you are here, still, warm, alive. Let sleep come now, not to save you, not to fix you, just to remind you that you don't need saving. You only need time and stillness and nights like this, when you finally remember you were never the thought to begin with. There is no need to name the thought now. It doesn't need your attention. It doesn't need your time. It can pass through quietly, like a breeze you no longer brace against, a ripple on a surface that remains calm underneath. You are no longer reacting. You're no longer shaping your body around something that doesn't belong to you. You're simply being. This is not surrender. This is arrival. And the place you've arrived at is your own breath, your own body, your own soft, unquestioned presence. The thought doesn't recognize this version of you, the one who doesn't tighten, the one who doesn't try, because this version of you doesn't need to defend. You're not here to fight. You're not here to heal quickly. You're here to rest. That's all. And that is enough. Let that be your only task now, to rest completely, to lie still, to breathe slowly, to know that your presence alone is your permission. There is no finish line. There is no test. There is only the soft rhythm of a body that no longer feels threatened by a passing thought. You are not failing. You are not behind. You are simply feeling what it's like to no longer be pulled. And that absence of pull, that stillness, is what peace feels like. It doesn't come with clarity. It comes with letting go of the need for clarity. It comes with choosing sleep, even if the mind still hums, even if the thought still floats, because now you know how to float with it, not against it, not around it, with it. And in that togetherness, you are not bound, you are not owned, you are simply coexisting with something that no longer holds the pen. You are writing this moment, and you've chosen silence, you've chosen calm, you've chosen breath. Feel it again. Feel the gentle weight of your head, the softness of the air on your skin, the quiet around your name. There is no role to play now, no version of yourself to protect. You don't have to become anything other than exactly this body, this breath, this stillness. Let your thoughts blur. Let your identity fade for a moment into something wider. You don't need to remember who you were before the thought came. You only need to feel who you are now, that it no longer holds you. And that is freedom. Not loud, not sudden, just steady, like the tide, like your breath, like the way your body now trusts the safety of letting go. There's no shame in still carrying the thought. There is strength in learning to rest with it, not on it, not under it, with it. You've made space, you've loosened your grip, and now the thought floats, not behind you, not above you, just near, and you sleep anyway. That's the truth now. That's your power. That's your story. Let it carry you, not forward, not away, just deeper, deeper into quiet, deeper into safety, deeper into the knowing that you're already whole. There is a quiet that only comes after you've stopped asking questions, not because you found the answers, but because you've stopped needing them. The thought used to ask everything. Why do you feel this way? What if it happens again? What if it never changes? But now, those questions don't land. They float unanchored, without urgency, because you are no longer the one who feels responsible for catching them. You've learned something softer, something simpler. You've learned that not all thoughts deserve a seat at your table. Some are just noise passing through quiet rooms. Some are old echoes that fade when you stop repeating them. And some, like this one, become smaller simply because you stopped holding them so tightly. That's where you are now. Not holding, not pushing away, just letting it be without becoming it. This is where peace begins to expand, not as a moment, but as a landscape, a new internal world where the thought is only one element, no longer the sky, no longer the gravity, just a shape, a sound, a leaf in the breeze. You are the breeze. Let that image stay with you. You moving through yourself with no sharp edges. You resting in your own mind as if it were a safe room without corners. You not fixing, not correcting, not reaching, just breathing, just staying. That stillness, it's not passive, it's active in the deepest sense, because it takes courage to remain soft in a mind that once felt loud. It takes strength to rest when the thought still circles, and you're doing that now. You've learned that rest isn't the opposite of awareness. It's a deeper kind of it, the kind that hears the thought and doesn't flinch, that sees it drift by and doesn't follow. You're not abandoning yourself. You're returning to this breath, to this body, to this softness that does not ask for anything but presence. No story, no meaning, just this, the way your chest rises, the way your fingers loosen, the way your name grows quiet in the dark. Let sleep come now. Let it arrive, not to take the thought away, but to show you that you are free, whether it's here or not. That your worth is not measured by the clarity of your mind, but by the kindness you offer yourself, even when your mind feels cloudy. You're kind now, to yourself, to the thought, to the space between, and that kindness is everything. Let it grow, let it hold you, let it lead you gently into the deepest part of rest, where the thought can no longer follow, because that place is not made of ideas. It's made of breath, of quiet, of being, and you are finally there. You don't need to think anymore. Not tonight, not now. The thought is quiet, the world is quiet, and you're finally still. There is nothing left to hold, nothing left to answer. Just breathe, just warmth, just the soft rhythm of sleep coming closer. Let it find you, let it wrap around you, let it carry you. You have done enough. You have been enough. You are enough. Sleep now. You are safe. You are home.